Welcome back to another episode of Graps Yaps. This is your go-to podcast for everything pro wrestling, where we're going to recap what's happened inside and, of course, outside of the ring from the last week. And whether you are a lifelong fan just like us or you're just a victim of the wrestling algorithm. First of all, sorry for that, but also we thank you for being here and we hope you enjoy. I am Phil Fresh with you, joined by my boy Tony Free TF. I'm gonna put you on the spot here. I'm gonna give you just a out of the blue question. Let's see how you go. Earlier this week was the Met Gala, right? We obviously saw, celebrities come through, they stunt, they put on a nice fit, there's a theme to it as well. But everyone's looking pretty fresh. Who in WWE history is the best dressed wrestler? I have my answer, but I'm curious to know yours.
Best dressed ever. WWE
it does,
history.
yeah, it could be current, it could be past, it could be...
Actually, that's easy. Ric Flair. Ric Flair is the best dressed man in WWE history.
Okay, not where I was thinking, but I hear it. In the same
not
vein,
out there like a Met Gala though.
Nah, but I guess he's almost like a Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is always looking nice and dapper with his suits, but I was gonna say Rey Mysterio. Have you seen Rey Mysterio with the Louis Vuitton mask, the Gucci masks, and he's iced out, he's dripped out? That would be my pick. Have you ever seen? Yeah,
I'm not a fan of the look, so not for me.
Really?
Nah.
Not a fan? Okay,
Nah.
hold on. We gotta take this to the people, man. I swear to God, Rey Mysterio is swaggy, and hopefully the people who follow us online on social media at Graps and Yaps will agree. But TF, back for another week. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, feel fresh. It's been a good week. Backlash is this week, so it's crept up very quickly. But it's kind of like I said, it's been WrestleMania hangover season. I think last week I said that. But it's actually been pretty good considering we're, going straight into another PLE. I think, there's a few stories which kind of helped that along. Obviously Jacob Roman, Oba having his open challenge has been pretty cool. And of course, Bron Breakker and Seth. So it's the steam's been, continuing to run after WrestleMania, which is nice to see.
It feels like they have they've completely cleared the table. They're getting set for another big feast, and they've done a really good job of it. I'm actually excited to get into it. That's what you'll be getting today on the show, our predictions for Backlash that happens this weekend. You gave us your best Backlash, impression. Is that what you're going with?
Backlash.
If they ask, is that you? Are you cosplaying as Triple H?
Well, there's actually a few, and I heard a lot of at Backlash. I swear they went overboard this week on Raw with the at Backlash quotes.
They did the thing.
Every second minute you just hear at Backlash, and
They
it just
did
doesn't
the
beat.
thing.
But it doesn't beat a good old at Backlash.
Damn, that's really good. All right, let me try mine. If me, Phil Fresh, I'm on the card of Backlash, I reckon I'm going for something a little bit cocky. Something like, all right, hold on then. At Backlash. What are your thoughts? Pretty good, huh?
You can clip a whole thing on this.
All right, well, look, before we get into our predictions, we got to talk about some outside the ring news. Just when we thought we were out, we spoke about some releases last week, which I spoke about the White Six, Kairi Sane as well. We thought we were out. We thought we were in the clear, but over the weekend, a big one gone, and a couple more names as well. But the big one being Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, the New Day, officially out of contract from the WWE. I remember I was up early that morning, checked it, and it wasn't from a page that it didn't look reliable, so I was kind of like, oh, that's crazy, and then did a bit more searching around, digging on the internet, and turns out it was that was the reality. I was super shocked, but it seems like there's a bit of a yarn about this one, Tony Free.
Yeah, well, the New Day I guess everybody thought they were lifers in WWE, and I certainly did. But yeah, they re-signed only last year. I think they were on 5-year deals worth millions of dollars per year. So big money deals. And, after a year, TKO's gone to them and said, hey, we need to restructure your deals. You guys need to take a pay cut. Gave them X amount of days to come back, and New Day, credit to them, said, no, thank you. See you later. And they would have left millions of dollars on the table by leaving WWE for, not being there for the next 4 years. So I think, yeah, great for New Day to, I guess, kind of stick to their guns. And I'm sure they're going to earn a lot of money wherever they're going next.
I wonder how bad that restructure would have been. Like, have you had obviously this happened, a few days ago. Have you had much to think about would it have to be with merch cuts? Or I know Xavier Woods, obviously has his YouTube channel, Up Up Down Down. I can't imagine how bad, that re-offer, the counter offer would have been. But yeah, Kofi Kingston, I never thought I'd see the day we'd be reading the sentence Kofi Kingston out of WWE. I think it was 2008 was when he made his WWE debut. I think he was under contract from 2006. So 20 years, man. It was a shock. I'm still kind of this is weird.
Well, also a bit of a shock considering that TKO's just gloating about the revenue that and the income they've just made for the last year. And they're floating all these images around, about how their stock prices have risen, and Ari Emanuel has just been given $67 million. I'm sure he could have, maybe they could have given him 50 million and we wouldn't be having these, pay cut talks with, New Day and a few others and, a lot of the releases and things like that. So yeah, it is very typical corporate greed here, which has come to the forefront and, has cost the WWE fans, some of their favorites here in the New Day. And in terms of the pay cut, I've seen a few reports out there saying that it was 7 figures per year would be the pay cut they'd be looking at.
Oh God. Okay. That I understand. That makes sense to me. My mind immediately went to well, when are they going to be back? Because there's no way that they're, like they say in WWE, it's just oh, never say never. We never thought we'd see CM Punk back in the WWE. I'm sure we're going to be getting Kofi Kingston and of course Xavier Woods back at some stage. But for the foreseeable future, where do you see them, in the ring? Do you reckon they even commit to another company? Do they do their own thing? Again, I mentioned the up, up, down, down of it all. Kofi's, been there, done that, WWE champion, Kofi Mania, all that. I mean, where do you see Kofi and Xavier in the foreseeable future?
I think just give them the 1 year run in AEW and let them have the New Day versus the Young Bucks. I think that's, set. That's just, it writes its own story. So
I'd imagine they'd be talking about
maybe
it
for
already,
1 year,
right?
just for 1 year. They'd have to be I think it's been teased for so long, about, bringing putting this dream match together between, two of the greatest tag teams of all time. Just run it now while you can.
And also the potential matchups. I mean, we know that Xavier Woods and Kenny Omega have a gaming relationship. We've seen it online before. Just seeing them in the same company. We haven't seen them in the same company though. I don't. Kenny Omega wasn't on. Yeah, he wasn't on TNA, was he? No.
Trying to think of the timing. Probably not.
Yeah, I can't picture it, but I mean, that's one there. Maybe we'll get a Kofi and Swerve. I mean, there's MJF as well. The list goes on and on. I think it has to be AEW. I'll be ready for that. I'll be excited for that. Actually, that might be enough for me to start paying attention to what's going on in AEW. But it wasn't just the New Day. It was also, unfortunately, the MFT has dropped 2 members, JC Mateo and the infamous Tonga Loa. JC Mateo, I got to say, I feel like he got shafted. There was not really, he didn't really actually, I can't think of one moment besides his debut maybe that was memorable for me in the WWE.
Well, I mean, the MFTs never really probably got to the spot where they were maybe thinking they would. Let's be real about it. Solo on his own has been really good, but with the MFTs, it hasn't really been.
The last few weeks, though.
But that's more so been Tama Tonga and Solo kind of, butting heads, I think. Yeah, having what four others in MFT hasn't really done much for them. So JC Mateo, I think he's going to be okay. He'll just go back to Japan and earn a lot of money there, and I think that style suits him more. Like WWE wasn't really his thing; it wasn't the right fit for him, and that's fair enough. That happens sometimes, so I can see that. Tonga Loa, as much as we love the man, what was he doing?
Well, let me answer that because I was talking about I can't really think of any memorable moments for JC Jeff Cobb, but I got time. I could tell you all the memories that I have of Tonga Loa. I mean, just the
All the
debut,
botches.
all the day, just as soon as he came back, he was late to pulling out the ref. Him punching Kevin Owens in the butt instead of hitting him with a low blow. I mean, I could go on and on and on. And you know what? You know what's so funny is that like the last few weeks of the MFTs, whenever they do their entrance, the face paint really changed everything. It felt like there was a bit more cohesion in the group. And the entrance was dope too, with the little like light coming up under from the ground up. You see their faces. Tonga Loa was always the most lit, which was so strange because it was originally just like Tama Tonga was doing the freaky shit. And then Tonga Loa, I don't know, like Tama Tonga was a bit more subdued, and then Tonga Loa took over the yang 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 like energy, and I was like, hey man, this is my go. But it is true, yeah, man. There's no denying, man. He didn't really bring much to the table outside of those botches.
It's a shame that we don't have those anymore because yeah, they were now that you brought them up, I'm starting to remember how many more there were. Like, I thought there were a lot before, all
See,
those botched moments, but there's a lot more that I forgot
hey,
about. So I don't know where
pour
he'll
one
where
out.
he'll do those next, but yeah, whoever takes his services,
Whoever wants that.
good luck. Good luck.
Hey, pouring one out for my boy, the infamous Tonga Loa. All right, let's get into the recap of the last week. It's Backlash this weekend, so we are going to get through the whole match card. But let's start here. This was announced over Twitter, I believe. Just when you thought he was retired, John Cena has been announced to appear at Backlash. He allegedly has some history-making news to announce. Mind you, this is 3 weeks after we last saw him at WrestleMania, hosting WrestleMania, and damn near not even 6 months after he retired late last year. Tony Free, how are we feeling about seeing John Cena again?
I mean, they're getting desperate if they're still using him after WrestleMania. But like I will admit, he did retire the jorts, the t-shirts, the hats. This man only rocks suits now when he appears in WWE.
It's still this, but it's still like, hey man, just go away for longer. Give it a year.
That still hasn't
You
been
haven't
six
let it
months.
breathe. You haven't you didn't let it breathe. Like now it's like it's not like, oh my God, John Cena's back. It's like, oh hey John, like hey, how are you? Good to see you again. Like it is strange. I know like the suit, he is just rocking the suits. But I don't know, man. It just feels a little too soon. He does have some history making news. There was also some news about this is kind of outside the ring, but apparently Nashville, Tennessee, has become favorites to host WrestleMania 44 in 2028. What are your thoughts on what the announcement will be?
From John Cena, I have no idea. Like we've
Could
just
be
had
anything, man.
we've had like this WWE club announced, at around Mania time. I don't know what he could be announcing here. Like we've, I'm not sure because the television deals are pretty much set. Like Raw on Netflix, SmackDown on I think it's on the USA or Fox or something. That's still a relatively new deal. The PLEs, with the ESPN app. So like like that sort of stuff's all locked away. I don't know what this could be. Like it could be the announcement of where WrestleMania is going to be. Maybe. So what? They're in Tampa this week for Backlash.
Yeah.
Like I can't see it being WrestleMania 45 is in Tampa. I think that's too far away for those announcements. I'm not sure what this could be, and I'm kind of like not hyping myself up to what this announcement might be. I really don't care. To be honest, it's
What's the
probably
craziest thing it would be? What's an announcement that would actually make you excited that you'd go, oh shit?
Vince McMahon has taken over ownership of the WWE once again.
See, okay, that's good.
That'll
Yeah,
be the holy shit
that's
moment.
really good. Yeah.
But or maybe John Cena himself, like announcing him, like that he's now on the board of TKO, or taking over WWE in some role.
Interesting.
Maybe that would be one. But other than that, I'm sure it's going to be underwhelming.
What if he actually comes out and he announces that WrestleMania next year is not happening in Saudi, and then he goes, "Well, we're coming back to Vegas for a third time, guys."
Oh, I I think at this point people would prefer Saudi more than they would Vegas.
Yeah, unfortunately that is true. Like, it's like we can't be doing this again. Like, I don't know. Then no one's really spoken about the 43. I mean, they also announced, was it Night of Champions later this year in Riyadh? Like, the Saudis are just, they're cleaning up. But God knows what this announcement would be. I'm gonna assume it's to do. My safe bet will be it's announcing WrestleMania 44 in Nashville. I've just been seeing that around. That's kind of just where my mind went to. But yeah, I don't know. My last point is, John Cena, please just go. All right, we'll just give it a year, give it 2 years even, and then you can come back. All right. Thank you very much. All right, let's
Hey,
get
do you
into.
remember? Hang on, just before we move on, do you remember the last big announcement for WrestleMania when The Rock made one for New Orleans?
Yeah, and then
How did that go?
yeah, how did that go? Honestly, it's such a shame because like I've heard nothing but great things about New Orleans, and like I mean WrestleMania 30, 34, like it seems like it's a great town for WrestleMania, and then he just went and just got. So hey man. Well, and also actually I have a question. What is this WWE club? Like I still actually don't even know what it is.
I think
Is
there's
it
just
an
a
app?
way. Just no, it's like a membership, like you would for like an NRL club or something. Like you just get some perks, a bit more of
Oh,
a bit more access to the talent, things like that.
okay.
Exclusive events, exclusive areas, newsletters, things like that. A bit more
Are you signing
tailored
up?
to. No, I haven't. I
Come
think there's a wait
on.
list. I think there's a wait list at the moment. It'd be interesting to see what the pricing is because I think they're just literally just taking their fans for a hike.
Yeah, at the rate that TKO is going as well, I mean, we can't rule that out.
It's a cash grab.
Um, yeah, the signs are all there, right? All right, let's get into the matches for Backlash this weekend, and let's start with the main event, World Heavyweight Championship, the first defense from the OTC, Roman Reigns up against the Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu. I know it's only been 3 weeks, but I've really been enjoying this build, Tony.
Oh, I think it's been great. They've just told a really great story, and making Jacob Fatu actually look like a legit guy who could take this title off Roman Reigns. And it's just another chapter in the Samoan dynasty. This has been really good. I'm loving all these references to
Yeah.
the households and the families, and Roman Reigns saying that he's not thinking about just higher education. He's thinking about generational higher education, things like this. And yeah, I think it's cinema at the moment.
It's going really well, and also the interactions with like the Usos and Solo and the MFTs, in references to Haku and everyone else. Like it's been fantastic. Jacob, I think, has been doing a really great job. Like he's been matching. He doesn't look out of place. He's been coming with the energy, come with the heat. And on Raw, we saw the contract signing, where Jacob did a number on Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns seemingly had like, he kind of had he had some answers to it, but ultimately it ended with him on his back and Jacob signing the contract and getting out of it. The importance of the Tongan Death Group as well. Like he's, out of all the people, I mean, okay, hold on. Out of all the people, Jacob looks great, but out of all the people, it should have been like a Tamatonga or even a Talatonga, because it's legit their dad's move. But Jacob is doing a really great job of it. He looks good. It's a nice submission to see back in. And then even Jay talking about it last week on SmackDown when he pulls up on Solo and Tala and he's like, "Yo, this is a sacred move. This is out of line. That's your daddy's move." We didn't know why. Like that's out of line. They're selling it so well, man.
Yeah, and even like Roman, talking about it on Raw this week, saying, that's when you're desperate, when you
Mm.
when it's 3 a.m. at the bar and it's 8-on-1, that's when you pull out the tongue and the death grip. Like, so, I think, yeah, awesome job of like, because like I'm sure a lot of people haven't seen that or heard of it before until 2 weeks ago. So they've
Yeah.
done a really good job of selling it and explaining why it's such a devastating move and why Jacob Fatu might be desperate enough to pull it out right now.
And the crowd is loving Jacob Fatu at the moment. The Fatu chants are big. He gets huge pops when he comes out. But let's get into some predictions for this match. Now, before we do this, actually, there was some other like outside the ring news, also related to TKO and contracts. There was a bit of noise about Roman Reigns because he had obviously announced on Twitter that he was set to make a couple appearances on Raw throughout June, and then throughout the week they stopped advertising Roman Reigns. He was no longer advertised for this episodes of Raw, and there was noise about the contract negotiations. Did you see this online, Tony Free?
I did, but we can shoot it down very quickly. Apparently, the June dates weren't supposed to be announced in the first place, so it was just a mistake. So it's got nothing to do with TKO contract negotiations and Roman Reigns trying to stick to a part-time schedule. It was just a mistake that these dates were put out in the first place.
Damn, shut down immediately. There it is, Tony Free. Well, I guess that doesn't really play into your prediction for this match. Who do you reckon takes this one out?
Well, Roman wins, but it's the question is how does this all happen? Like, what's going to
Yeah.
be the fallout? Who's going to be involved? So yeah, Roman wins. The Usos get involved in some fashion. And I do think maybe Solo might make an appearance, but ultimately, I think the Usos help Roman Reigns retain the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, I think this is an easy, stroke in the tally for Roman Reigns. First defense as well, 3 weeks after WrestleMania. As great as Jacob has been, yeah, you don't take the gold off the OTC like that. But I do imagine, yeah, there will be a lot of hullabaloo involved in this match. I'm excited for it. I think it'll be a strong one as well. Let's move on to the next match on the card: Seth Rollins versus Bron Breakker, a match that probably should have been on WrestleMania if everything had worked out. But also kind of involves Roman just at the start of Raw yesterday. Roman is fuming, he's steaming, he makes a beeline for the ring, asking for Jacob. General Manager Adam Pearce goes, he's not here yet. You got to wait. And then we get a nice little backstage moment between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Nice little stare down. Seth goes, "You're in my way," and then walks out.
I was waiting for him to say "in life," like when Roman did it to Cody for Bad Blood a few years ago. I was waiting for it in life.
You know what? That would have been cinema right there.
But I thought it was cool. Seth pretty much like little brother Roman in that little interaction.
And the crowd pop when we saw Seth in the shot, like this is a WrestleMania match. Maybe we get that next year. I'm ready for it. Two of the GOATs, man. Two of the best to do it today. God, I wish Jon Moxley was back in WWE.
I think Roman still hasn't beaten Seth Rollins either in one-on-one matches.
So Roman can't beat Seth. Seth beats. Wait, hold on. Dean's beaten Roman before, right?
I can't remember that far back. Maybe
because I thought like there was like a dynamic of like it's like rock paper scissors. Like one can beat the other, but they can't beat the other two, kind of thing. Like that
maybe
was
when
my
Dean was
like
champion. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't think that Roman has beaten Seth. I believe that. I actually don't.
No,
think
he hasn't.
I mean, if he hasn't.
No, they had that match at Royal Rumble a few years ago, but like I think it ended in a DQ. Yeah.
There was also the WrestleMania, but it was a tag, with The Rock and Cody as well. So I guess you don't really count that. But hey, man, seeds are getting planted. But before we get there, he faces Bron Breakker. What are your thoughts on this build so far?
Oh, I mean, it's really good. Like it honestly feels like a WrestleMania build. And like just this week on Raw, Bron Breakker, like just going on an absolute tear. Like there was multiple times where Bron Breakker gets involved and goes after Seth Rollins, and I loved every second of it. It literally just feels like it's almost like a Mania main event build. It's been really good. So I think like just having this post Mania has been really great for the build up into Backlash, because usually, yeah, this time of year when things start fresh, it can be a little bit slow sometimes, but this is really keeping the pace up. Um, yeah, I'm very on the fence about who's going to win. Like it's more of it's a coin toss for me at the moment. I feel like Seth just coming back, it'd be great to get a win under him to, maybe push him towards that world title picture against Roman Reigns, where we've just had that interaction we spoke about. And then Bron Breakker, he's, one of these next guys in line. He, had all this momentum underneath him last year. Things went a little bit, awry with Seth getting injured, with Bron ended up getting surgery, division not really working out. So I think it's still really important for Bron Breakker to get momentum here as well. So it's really hard to pick a winner. I'll just say that Bron Breakker wins here. Just only for the fact that I think Seth Rollins would have, had a plan a long time ago. Like pulling back the curtain a little bit here, but I feel like Seth Rollins would have had a plan a long time ago to put Bron Breakker over in this way.
I'm basing this prediction off of what I think will happen after. I don't think this is the last time we're going to see this. I think we're going to see this bleed into, I believe it's Clash in Italy is the next PLE.
Yeah,
got to
that's
say
the one.
main event as well. I think we're going to see this carry on. For that to carry on, I'm going to put this down as a Seth win, whether it's clean or via DQ. I'm not too sure, but I think it'll be a solid match, up until the finish. We'll get some sort of hullabaloo there. Seth Rollins to take the win. I mean, the vision is still kind of in the back pocket. Bronson Reed, I don't know how soon he's set to come back, but he's been away for a bit. So there is like that in the background as well, but I'm going to go with a Seth Rollins W for this match. United States Championship, a rematch of WrestleMania, but this time Trick Williams defending against Sami Zayn. I mean, speaking of, intense builds, this one probably the most intense because this ended up in the unfortunate passing of the gingerbread man, Tony Free.
Yeah, R.I.P. Thank you for all the memories, GBM.
Yeah.
But
Seriously.
yeah, like Sami Zayn, he beat that shit up.
Yeah, what a
He doesn't
dog.
like I like the gingerbread man. He was, pulling out the moves last week.
What did he ever do?
He could have been like they could have kept this guy on for a few weeks, at least a few more weeks. This could have been anyone under this gingerbread man costume.
I mean, as soon as I didn't think much of it at the time when Sammy was taking it out, but man, when Trick threw up the X, when he came out, he threw up the X. That's when I was like, I don't think this was meant to happen. Wade Barrett looked concerned. Joe Tess, I think, was distraught when it was announced that GBM didn't make it. So there's a lot to ride on. I'm sure Trick Williams will be, taking that on, bring that with him to this match. There's actually going to be a funeral service this week on SmackDown, Tony Free.
Oh, I'm wondering if Gingerbread Man's contract was asked to be restructured and he's getting moved on by TKO.
He got written off.
Yeah. So, well, he's getting more than what Kairi Sane, New Day, Aleister Black.
There were a lot of questions about his involvement in the card. Yeah.
At least the Gingerbread Man's getting a proper send off.
He did well. The other thing is that he did. As the traditional wrestler law. You go out on your back. So he did the job for Sammy. Sammy's taken the rub from GBM, so he did the right thing. So yeah, interesting to see how emotions in this match. But Trick Williams, Sami Zayn. What are your thoughts on Sammy's riding so far?
Yeah, I think I said this a few weeks ago. I'm a little bit tired of Sami Zayn at the moment. I don't like that Trick's in this rivalry with Sami Zayn for this championship, and I'm tired of it. Like WrestleMania was enough for me. I didn't need to see any more Trick versus Sami. I want Trick v Mello. I want Trick v somebody else, not Sami Zayn.
I feel like the writing is the way your feelings about Sammy is what they're intending. Because, I mean, the crowd has obviously turned on Sammy. The crowd is well and truly behind Trick Williams. Trick, the way he ran out to the ring was like he just turned babyface overnight. Sammy, cowardly running out to the crowd, getting away from Trick. I think the writing is on purpose. But maybe if we need to just, do the official turn, get it done. Maybe this turn should have happened just after WrestleMania. But maybe this is where, this is the actual like turning point. We get officially Sami Zayn as, this annoying little heel that he's been portraying the last few months even. He even had an interaction with Cody Rhodes on SmackDown as well. So that was, we are starting to see that. Do you think, what are your odds? Put a number on it, Tony Free. What are the odds we see Sami Zayn involved in this bloodline mess?
I'm actually hopeful of it, so I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. 70%.
I want it to happen, but that means Sami Zayn. Oh, maybe he can. I'm thinking maybe Sami Zayn can't be behaving the way he is at the moment to be involved in all this. But then again, when Sami came into the bloodline, he was, that bit of a desperate chicken shit heel kind of guy at that time. Yeah. So it might, be coming full circle again.
Yeah, I mean that would be an interesting dynamic. From annoying pest chicken shit to like real condescending, doubtful kind of character work. I mean, Sammy also, in the lead up to WrestleMania and after Royal Rumble was getting in Jacob Fatu's face about everything. So it's, there are, we can refer back to some moments, but in terms of predictions for this one, I think this is an easy dub for Trick Williams. You saying the same?
Yeah, I think so. I think Trick gets this win. Sammy loses the plot after this and maybe gets sucked back into the bloodline vortex.
Yeah, Trick Williams, in honor of GBM, I reckon, retains the championship. Next match, Asuka versus Io Sky. Compared to similar to the Seth Rollins Bron Breakker feud, this feels like this should have been a match at WrestleMania. The storyline's been going on for as long as, the Seth and Bron stuff. But I wonder, and I'm curious to know your thoughts about, has Kairi's release deflated this storyline a little bit? I think it has.
It has, but I'm holding out hope that she somehow re-signs this week and she makes the save at Backlash and turns on Asuka.
Okay, we'll put a number on it. What are we saying? So you said 70% for Sami Zayn in the bloodline. What are you saying for Kairi Sane to return?
Realistically, this is a 20% chance, but I am holding out hope on that 20%.
You think you're saying it will be a 20% chance, but what are you hoping for? How much you're thinking 100% chance?
I'm hoping that it's 100% chance, but I'm doubtful. Realistically,
I don't know. I mean, they did it last year with Truth. I don't know if they can keep doing the release and then fake release gimmick is right after WrestleMania. I don't know if that's a thing that should continue to happen every year. Truth, I guess, made sense because, I guess it was similar to the Kofi of it all, in that, it was a huge shock. We didn't think we'd see the day. And then, that kind of built to a crescendo. But I just don't know. And there's no diss on Kairi Sane. I don't know if the fans love Kairi Sane the same way that they love R-Truth. But this match itself, yeah, it's been going on in the background. It kind of had its peak before WrestleMania. Now it's kind of not as high as it would be. But Asuka and Io Sky, this might be a coin flip as well. But I don't think you can go against Io Sky. I'm taking Io Sky to win this one, Tony.
So, as I said, I think the chances of Kairi coming back are 20%. If Kairi is not coming back here, I feel like Asuka gets the win. I don't think this is the end of this rivalry, unfortunately, because it has been going on for a very long time. But I do feel like Asuka gets the win here, and somehow this continues, or maybe Io is just like, you know what, I'm done with this. I just need to step away, and maybe she goes to SmackDown as well and joins Rhea. Maybe. I don't know. But I do feel like Asuka's getting the win.
All right. We've gone either way for this one. Let's get to the last match on Backlash. This one I reckon I'm pretty keen for. It's The Miz and Kit Wilson tagging against Danhausen and a mystery partner. Now before we get to our predictions on this mystery partner, Danhausen, he's been doing fantastic. And especially when he goes up against, you get something new and something hot that the crowd loves, and you put him up against like a true professional. He knows what he's doing. Someone like The Miz, it's been going really well. The segment on SmackDown where Miz was kind of like faking out Dan has been like, no, I would like to be uncursed. Like I'm rocking with they selling the handshake. The crowd is going yeah, boo. Like they were so into it, and then just all that just to take him out from behind. Like it's been fantastic. What are your thoughts on this kind of build, Tony Free?
Oh, I mean, it's been fun. It's sports entertainment. Let's be real. Like it's going to be a fun spot. But yeah, it's Danhausen mystery partner. It's a big question. And there's
my mind went to one name, but you go.
I mean, there's a few possibilities out there. I know, like people are saying, or they can put Joe Hendry with Danhausen. They can do some sort of like, Hendryhausen curse. I don't know, something like that. But one I would love to see, because he's not doing anything else at the moment, and it's CM Punk. We run back Punkhausen as we did in AEW. These two guys are very good friends. So I'd pop to see Punkhausen this week at Backlash.
I think it does have to be Pepsi Phil. My mind immediately went to Pepsi Phil, CM Punk to be the tag partner. Yes, we haven't seen him since WrestleMania. He's taken the last few weeks off, well deserved rest, a little break as well. So I think we are going to get CM Punk. I saw people saying John Cena online, like there was like heavy speculation on John Cena. I'm like, you guys need
That's
to
John
get
Cena's history making announcement. I'm going to be tagging with Danhausen tonight.
God, that would suck. That would really suck. I mean, are there other names? What are the other names that you toss around in your mind, Tony Free?
Well, the other one is Elton Prince. I don't know how far in his recovery he is, but if there was going to be a guy who's going to come out and partner with Danhausen against Kit Wilson, it might have to be Elton Prince.
What do you reckon that crowd reaction is going to be like if it is Elton Prince?
Crickets. Absolute crickets.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad we're on the same page, because I was like, look, I on paper I see it, but when on execution, no, everyone's going to be like, who's that? Oh yeah, him. Oh,
who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah, it'd be like, oh, okay, I guess. But no, I think it has to be Pepsi Phil, CM Punk, and then I'm going to give the win to Punkhausen as well. You're on the same boat, Tony Free?
Yeah, let's run back Punkhausen for sure.
Right,
I think they get the win.
Locked in. Backlash. We have predicted it. We're going to get every match right. Let us know what you guys think. Make sure you're following us on social medias. But let's get into some other big news that happened outside of Backlash, I guess. Big one on SmackDown. Absolute. Ricky Starks made his debut, Tony Free. What did you think of this?
I thought it was great. I think did you say last week that you wanted Ricky Starks to come out and have an interaction with Cody Rhodes, and that's what we got.
I think I did.
And we got a match out of it as well.
Come on, man. Oracle. Does that make me I think I'm the Oracle now, right? Is that how that works?
For 1 week. 1 week only.
Okay. All right. Well, if Kairi Sane comes back, then you can have it back.
But yeah, I thought, really great. And, obviously it puts Ricky Starks in like a really good spot immediately with the main roster audience. Putting him in the ring with Cody tells you straight away that, oh, this guy is actually, something big. So for those that weren't watching NXT or didn't know any of his previous work, now you know that he's one of those guys.
Well, I mean, when he first came, I heard the music and I was like, I was in the kitchen and had the TV on, had it up, and I was like, oh, hell yeah. Like, I got excited. But my gauge on the crowd reaction wasn't too big. Just in that first segment, I think he did really well. Like in the promo, matched Cody on the mic, really told, sold himself to the crowd and said, this is who I am. I really love this. I saw a video on social media. Someone put a side by side of Ricky Starks. You know how he does like he's on the corner post doing like the fist in the air to the beat. So there was a side by side of him doing that in the first segment, and then on the other side it was him doing it in the main event match, and it was so like the people were following like immediately. An hour later, 2 hours later, the crowd clocked onto oh yeah, sweet, we do this here. That you see like more people in the crowd doing the fist thing. So I really loved that side by side, and I think he did. He held his own in the match as well.
100%. And but I think the big talking point here is the involvement of Gunther hitting a sleeper on Cody. I was not expecting this to happen.
It was I'll be honest, I was like, oh shit, no way. But then I was like, oh. And the only reason why I was a little bit down on that was because I was like, this is a WrestleMania match. This should happen in next year's WrestleMania match. It's so traditional, like old school, like Gunther. And I know this is like a terrible wrestling trope, but like Russian adjacent, you know what I mean? German, wrestler up against the true blue American, that kind of character arc. Like I know it's old school, it's outdated, but I just love it's old school and I love it. But so that was my initial reaction to it. But I think overall, like this feud between Gunther and Cody is just gonna hit it out of the park.
Well, we've already had that one match at Crown Jewel, I think 2 years ago.
Yes.
I think that's been their only match so far. So we know what this can give us, and we know it will deliver. So yeah, I'm really, really excited for that. I don't know what the end goal here is. Does Gunther win the championship, and where does it happen? When does it happen?
Yeah.
Is this going to happen in Italy? Is this going to happen at SummerSlam? Yeah. So this might play out for a few months.
I hope it does, man. They're two great wrestlers. Cody's great on the mic. Gunther's great in the ring. Like, just let it cook. Don't overdo it. Don't make sure the pan's not too hot. Like, just let it stew, let it simmer a little bit, bring it up to a boil. But I'm really excited about this one. Anything else you want to talk about, TF?
Hey, there was a lot more that happened. Sol Ruka officially signed with Raw this week, and she got interrupted by Becky Lynch, and this is a great rivalry for Sol to get into straight away on the main roster. And I'm already excited for it, albeit Sol did botch her Soul Snatcher a little bit there. She had a little bit of a slip on the ropes, but otherwise, it's going to be really fun.
She recovered.
She's already like super over. Like we spoke about, like Ricky Starks having a bit of like a quieter reception. I think Ethan Page has probably been seeing that as well. But Sol steps in and everybody knows who she is straight away. They're already familiar with her game. She looks $1 million. She can do things which are crazy. So it's going to be fun. And I think her and Becky is a great way to start this off.
Did she get Def Rebelled as well? I think they changed her music, right?
She's been running the same. No, she's been. I'm pretty sure she's had the same music.
Raw, I think they gave her a new one on Raw. I was like, now, I'm not really okay. Maybe someone listening can fact check those on this, but I thought it was the same. This is different. This is different.
But it was Def Rebel before anyway, so it's a like for like, I guess.
Is a double and give it to the next person. I think this is what I would say, at the start of the podcast, just saying, it feels like they've cleaned the table and they're starting to bring in, some fresh plates, some new dishes to the menu. And like people like Ricky Starks, Sol Ruka especially, Ethan Page,
Blake Monroe,
like Joe Hendry,
Blake Monroe too.
Blake Monroe yet to make her, her debut as well. Like it feels like WWE is in a really good spot now. Like they're going, here's who you need to worry about. Here's who you need to care about. And we're going to make sure that you care about these people. And so far, they're doing a solid job. I'm a big fan of this one. I guess, there are names before these guys, the likes of an Obafemi, Javon Evans, which we'll get into later, and also a Roxanne Perez. all right, who's been in the Judgment Day, and there seems to be some even more developments within the Judgment Day. Obviously, Finn Balor's out. JD McDonough getting the win over Finn on Raw. But before that, that was the real juice. There was between Roxanne and Liv, and it seems like they're getting in quick. They're getting in early. They're saying keep an eye out on this one. What do you think, Tony?
Yeah, I feel like Roxanne winning the world championship will happen inevitably on Liv as well, like winning the title from Liv.
Yeah.
And, they're planting those seeds very, it's very obvious they're planting these seeds. I'm not sure how long it's going to take, but I do know that it will make for some good television viewing for however long it's going to take.
You did. Now I'm just remembering. I remember before WrestleMania, you had made a prediction that oh no, it wasn't with Roxanne, it was with Steph. Didn't you say that Dom was gonna leave Liv and go to Steph?
Yeah, I did.
Hey, it's still on there, mate. I mean, look,
Hey,
I'll give it to the end
happen.
of the year. I'll give it to the end of the year, but it's not looking good. But Roxanne, though, yeah, exciting stuff to watch. I think they're doing a decent job of it so far. Definitely want to keep an eye out of. And Obafemi, as I mentioned before, the Obafemi challenge continues in what was a really fun match between him and Otis.
I want your honest opinion, or your honest opinion. Oh, sorry, honest reaction. What was your reaction to, Obafemi comes out for his open challenge, and you hear the Alpha Academy music hit?
My honest reaction?
Yeah.
I mean, there was the thought of it being a Akira Tozawa coming out. There was a thought of that, but I mean, I didn't really think much of it. Was there something I missed?
I don't know. I just feel like when that music hit, I was like, "Are you fucking serious?" Like,
who did you think it was going to be? John Cena?
It's Obafemi. This is why I'm saying we can't be doing an open challenge for Obafemi every week and just pitting him up against talent who we're probably lucky they didn't get released.
Who do you think it should have been? Who would have made you at the very least satisfied?
The Obafemi Open Challenge needs to be done at PLEs only, and it needs to be against top tier talent. This is where you bring out your Gunthers, your Bron Breakers, your Bronson Reeds. These guys.
Do you not think that they should build up to it though?
No, I reckon you just have someone. It's an open challenge. So when that music hits, your floor needs to be on the jaw. No, your jaw needs to be on the floor.
Your floor, put the floor on the jaw. But okay, so my only thing would be, jumping the gun a little bit. Like, obviously he's had a big win over Brock at WrestleMania. The Obafemi challenge has started. But, say a Gunther happens, obviously it won't, but like this week at Backlash, Obafemi challenge, Gunther comes out. And then you do another PLE, oh, it's Braun Breaker. Next one, shit, I mean, what do you see what I mean? Like, where do you go from there? Do you go to like a Seth Rollins? Do you go to a Cody Rhodes? That's like 4 matches.
You just have him run through everybody that's a top talent, and eventually, he puts himself in the world title picture.
You saved yourself there. You said everybody. I said, well, everybody includes Otis and Akira Tozawa and Grayson Waller. That's everybody.
These guys are lucky they're still here.
But
after what's happened the last 2 weeks,
go into it. Yeah, but you're not really watching it and going, well, obviously Otis isn't going to win. Like, that's the whole point of the open challenge. That's the whole point of Obafemi being Obafemi. They're not supposed to win.
I've just watched Obafemi run through Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Why do I have to see Obafemi running through Otis?
Because
like a few weeks later,
kayfabe, he's given. There's no champions that are free. There's no champions that are available. He's making shit for himself. So he's actually, if anything, he's giving opportunity to these wrestlers. He's going, hey, you want to make a name for yourself, man? I'm the guy that beat Brock Lesnar. Here you go, Otis. See you later. Bye. All right.
That's not true.
Maybe we get. It's not true.
Look, World Heavyweight Championship. Jacob Fatu just rocks up and just takes the opportunity. Intercontinental Championship. Rusev just rocks up, attacks Penta. He's going to be in that spot now. Gunther just rocks up out of nowhere, attacks Cody Rhodes. He's going to get a shot now. Why can't Obafemi be doing this?
Because those guys have been in the main roster way longer than Obafemi. He's been here for like 3 months, 4 months.
Obafemi's pinned Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. He's done more
Yeah,
than
but
all
he's
of them
only.
combined.
But you said so. Gunther's been in the WWE for. He was the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion, two-time World Heavyweight Champion. He can do that. You know what I mean? These guys have. They already been there, done that. Obafemi has only been on the main roster on WWE on Raw for 4 months. You gotta let it cook. I think that's what they're doing. It's like you don't want to do it too quick and then go, all right, shit. Well, what do we do now? He's
I
already
just feel like
beaten
we're.
Seth Rollins. He's already
I feel like
beaten
we're taking
Roman
a step
Reigns.
back
There's
though.
no one else.
It just
Hey,
feels like a
I think
massive
they're
step
doing all
back.
right. So who do you think? All right, so this I'm assuming this happens again next week. Give me a name of someone that you will actually be like, and legitimately, I'm not saying like ballpark, be as realistic as you can be. A name that shows up for the Obafemi Open Challenge next week on Raw.
I'd love for it to be Bronson Reed, but I know he's still on the shelf with his injury. That one would make me go, holy shit. But I'd love to see someone like, even if it is like an Austin Theory or a Logan Paul, someone who's, a little bit higher on the card, taking on
Yeah.
Obafemi. I'll take that.
Hey, you know what? And that's a little bit closer. That's a little bit more closer to the temperature of the names. I think we are going to get to those guys, and I think there is obviously there's a Rusev match in there at some point. There's probably but I do think we need to set the foundation, set the bar rather. At like a Otis, at a Grayson Waller, at a, maybe like a
I
Angel
don't need to see
Garza
these.
or something.
I don't need to see these guys who would otherwise be wrestling on main event. Like I want, at least the mid tier talent like your Ilya Dragunovs and things like that.
I think you need to let the food cool down a little bit before you jump in, Tony Free. But I'm here to hear what people think. For listeners, let me know what you guys think at Graps and Yaps on social media. What if right? We get Ludwig Kaiser. He shows up at the Overfemi Challenge. What are your thoughts on that?
Hey, we might be getting Chad Gable by the end of the month as well. So I'll take Gable. Maybe not so much Ludwig because I think he might be still wearing a mask in about a month's
I need
time.
to
But we
look
could
this
get
up.
Gable.
I need to see when is this mask v mask match? I
it's
think it's coming
end of
up
May.
soon, right?
I think it's end of May. They've still got a few more weeks before.
Dude, okay. Have you been seeing, right? Obviously, you've been watching it on WWE. You've been seeing how this El Grande stuff has been, playing out on WWE TV. But have you been seeing how it's been playing out on AAA? Like just little clips online and stuff?
The OG Americano is booked as the heel in Mexico.
It's not only just that. It's the fact that it's like the hottest feud outside of WWE is this feud between Kaiser and Gable. And now like the Creed brothers are involved as well. They're like the new lackeys now for Chad Gable. But on AAA, and that Undertaker's, he's kind of like at the helm of that right now. You know that?
Yeah, I've heard that.
Dude, he is cooking. All right, this feud. I'm actually gonna make sure I watch this match because the crowd gets super involved in it. There's that announcer whose name I'm forgetting. I believe her name is Andrea, who is
Andrea Bazzate.
That's the
Yeah,
one.
Ludwig's girlfriend.
Exactly. She's getting involved as well, and like just Ludwig he's just giving it everything he's got, man. Like these brawls and stuff are like they're neck level, man. I just can't believe like it's so night and day. It's so night and day with how like AAA and WWE are handling this. Are you going to be keeping an eye out for this Mask vs. Mask match?
I think when it happens, I will be. I'm not hanging out for it every week, but I'm sure like when it comes around, I'll have a little watch of it and see what happens. But
I'm seeing clips and clips.
I feel like we just need to unmask both these guys and just get them back into doing what they need to be doing.
I actually think Kaiser should keep it, and that Gable. It's time for Gable to, Gable. Despite him being the OG, he just Kaiser just taking it to heights that we never thought we'd see. When he first burst onto the scene last year or whatever it was. But yeah, that's keep an eye out for that one. Anything else, Tony Free, that we may have missed?
Oh, I think we've touched on, I guess, all the NXT guys coming up, and Sol and her running with Becky, but like just on the Judgment Day stuff, how long can we keep going on with Finn Balor feuding with the Judgment Day because JD McDonough got the win this week. We've
Yep.
seen Dominic versus Finn at WrestleMania. Do we need to keep running this route? Like, are we just keeping Finn around for the Roxanne element? I really hope not. We don't need that there, do we?
I'm with you on that one too. Like Finn is back. He's back with the trunks. He's doing the woo thing in his entrance. The Judgment Day, we've seen what happened. We've closed that chapter. We should have closed that chapter of WrestleMania. I'm with you on that one. Let's move on. Maybe down the line, a Finn Balor Obafemi match that could rock. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm done with it. And yeah, I think we need to move on. But maybe it's time for us to get on out of here, TF. Appreciate you guys for staying along for the ride. Let us know your thoughts on Backlash. Make sure you're following us on all social media, Instagram, TikTok, X, at Graps Yaps. Also on YouTube. Videos will be up as well on our YouTube page with the same handle. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the whole shebang. Tony Free. It's a big weekend. Obviously, for people who are watching on YouTube, I'll let the listeners know. Rocking my Gunners jersey. It's you and me this weekend, mate. It's Gunners and the West Ham.
We need to win. We're in the drop zone at the moment. Tottenham got the win the other day, so and we copped a loss. So yeah, we need to respond now. So we need Deckers to, we need the script writers to cook this week. That's what we need. Like Nick Stab said a few weeks ago, we need it to happen now.
TF, the script has been written. You need to do a job. You guys need to do the job.
I think Spurs have Chelsea as well.
On your back.
Is that right?
Yeah, maybe I think, but yeah, no, unfortunately, yeah, it is heating up. I mean, not on both ends of the ladder. I mean, I think, okay, so I always see this, and I don't know what's to take, what advice or what news to take in or not. People are saying if Arsenal win this weekend, the Premier League is theirs, and I'm like, but there's still like so much more games, and Man City have a game in hand as well. I can't keep up, but I'm hoping we get the dub on you guys this week, Tony Free. Anything else exciting happening this weekend for you?
Hey, look, just apologies to all the mothers out there for all their, children that'll be watching Backlash this weekend. Yeah.
It's not a phase, Mom.
Still watching that shit?
Shut up, man. Get out of here. Hey,
so,
man.
yeah, it should be a good day.
That's right. I'm with it. All right, TF. Enjoy Backlash. And I'll see you next week, brother.
See you then.